Okay, so first of all, I'm Nick Bentley. I'm the lead designer for Oceans. I've been a developer on all the other Evolution games. So on all these games, we start with theme. And it turns out that ocean ecosystems are way different from terrestrial ecosystems. So that's the reason that this is a separate sequel game, not an expansion, because terrestrial traits on an ocean creature and vice versa wouldn't make any sense. What would a filter feeder be doing on land? Like sucking down dandelion seeds or something? That's too high fantasy for us, so we're not doing it. Okay, so this is its own game. Now, the main differences between ocean ecosystems and terrestrial ones are, first, the base of the food chain in the ocean is plankton, not plants. Plankton is not one thing, it's a mix of different species. Sort of broadly defined, it's all the stuff that floats and doesn't swim directionally, both plants and animals. So the base of the food chain here is plankton. Everything that's not tiny, or most things that aren't tiny in the ocean, are predators. So this is a much more predatory game. Also, the distinction between plankton and not plankton is not as clear, right? So there's more species that can eat both plankton and be predatory. Although there are certain kinds of species that are committed to one kind of eating or another. Like if you're a filter feeder, you're going to be eating plankton. If you're an apex predator, no plankton for you, only fish. Okay, so that's sort of the thematic reason for us to structure the game very differently. The architecture of the rules is different. Another thing that's true of this game is it's streamlined compared to Evolution.
Pun not intended.
Pun totally intended. But it is still pretty deep. Pun also intended.
Oh, man.
So there's like a richness of tactics and strategy that's kind of hidden beneath a very simple rule set. Yes, a current, an underlying current.
We're going to put a counter of how many.
We got to put a stop to this now.
Oh, God. Okay, so, for example, in regular Evolution, there are phases in each round. In the first phase, you evolve your species. In the second phase, your species compete for food. Here, those two things are all mixed together, kind of like they are in real life. So on your turn, which is very simple, you just do two things. You give a species a trait to evolve it, and then you feed a species. And that's it. And the round goes until people are out of cards. However, the cards combo with each other a lot, and so there's a lot of subtlety in how to combine all of your traits across your species to make your ecosystem thrive. So that's what we're doing, and we have a little bit of art here. The art, as always, was done by the renowned nature artist Catherine Hamilton. All of these start life as watercolor paintings that we commissioned from her, and then they are transferred into game components. So I'm going to show you my favorite right here. This is called Apex Predator. It allows you to take bigger bites out of your prey.
It's pretty awesome.
So this is a combination of three things. I don't know if you can see it. One, an orca. It has black-white counter shading like an orca. Two, a great white shark.
Did not see that one coming.
One of the great, yeah, right. And three, Mike Tyson. So it has Maori tribal patterns as its counter shading.
Love it.
So I'm totally into this card, and there's little Easter eggs on the cards. I'm not going to give any more away, but throughout the cards, we really like that. So this is just a sampling of the cards. The other thing that people sort of fetishize about this game is the start player marker. So I got to mention that. We have an octopus start player marker. This is probably going to be something like what it's like. It'll be more refined when we're ready.
That size, though?
This is pretty big. I don't know. I mean, it's going to be close. You know, we're known for having big start player markers.
Right.
So
I'm pretty sure I have all of them. They're very hard to fit in the box.
Right, yeah. So yeah, we think we're going to do this. And the plan right now is to have it kickstart in June or July, and then have it debut for general sale at PAX Unplugged in 2018. So 1 year from right now.
You had mentioned that this is a more streamlined version compared to the original Evolution. Was that as a reaction to people's feedback to the original Evolution? Were there things that you were trying to smooth out, or was it just you wanted to kind of try something different and see what worked?
It was mostly try something different, but also a little bit. So after having taught Evolution like thousands of times now, there's certain difficulties that new players can sometimes have getting into it. It's not much trouble for a lot of people, but for some people it is. And we wanted to find a way to get away from it. So I mentioned that the rounds are divided into phases. right? Some people get confused by the different rules in the two phases. Here, there's just one phase, and there's not that confusion for people who are prone to that kind of confusion. But that's the more minor point. The more major point is that whenever we design games, we design multiple versions of games, and this is something I wish more game designers would do. The reason is that when you design something, you might think it's good. It might feel really good, but having another version is like having a control group, right? It gives you perspective that you wouldn't otherwise have. So we've designed several versions of Oceans. We thought we had one that was really, really great, and in fact, we're going to probably include it as a print and play on in the Kickstarter, and that's a heavier version. But then we tried to design this streamlined version, and we were getting very positive feedback, not just from the casual players, but from all the sort of heavy gamers who we showed the game to. So that made us think, oh, we should do this. And so that's how we ended up here.
I think it's a great idea, partly because, one, it makes it so, like, if someone is a heavy evolution gamer already, like, okay, I'm not just buying a reskin. You are getting something that's different.
It's very different.
Which also thematically works, as you said, starting this, you know, underwater ecosystems are different from their own. So, literally, they're different.
Yep. Exactly.
And it is completely standalone. Is there anything that can interact with the other versions?
100% standalone.
So no flying fish.
No flying fish. No flying fish. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it sounds really awesome. We love the evolution games. The art is amazing. I also want to know if those shirts are for sale that you're wearing right now.
I don't know if they're for sale, but I could sneak you one.
All right.
Don't joke, because I like dinosaurs, so don't joke about that.
Yeah, because the art is awesome. So
I mean, yeah, this art is some of the most beautiful art anywhere. Like, if you like animal games, you got to take a look at all the evolutions. And
Thank you.
I mean, if you look at just underwater creatures now, they're crazy. So this, you can just imagine all the fun you can do with this.
There's some potential for spookiness here too. There's some scary deep sea creatures.
I'm actually terrified if they go that deep.
I would like you to consider what an apex parasite would do to you.
I would like
an apex parasite. Is that like Alien or something?
Yeah, I guess. Sort of like Alien. Yeah. Well, thanks so much for showing the game to us.
Thank you.
It's been awesome. You guys have a bunch of cool stuff coming out from North Star. If you're at PAX Unplugged, definitely check it out. Otherwise, look forward to it in 2018.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
Thanks.
Hey there, if you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, because we've got much more where that came from.
And you can check us out on the web at rollforcrit.com for more board game news from PAX Unplugged and elsewhere.